ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. So purple eyeshadow, grape, anything in those cool purpley tones is really in for 2021 spring summer. So I love this. I love purple. I love all colors. I know I say I love every color. In any case, I thought today we would really focus on how to do using purple and grapes, a really pretty kind of smoky, not too complex, okay, because this is for daytime, eyeshadow look for all of you. And I know many of you love to wear purple, especially if you have green eyes. It looks amazing on brown eyes. It looks amazing on blue eyes. But I mean, purple and violets and those sort of colors are really amazing. So that's why I'm going to hit this subject for today. It's going to be great. So before I get started, please visit my website at thebeautyshaman.com and visit my blog and store. And then also please hit the subscribe button so that I can continue to make great content for you here on YouTube. Let's get going. Okay, so what are you drinking? We got to have our tea. Okay, I have my Allegro. I don't know if you get to have Allegro where you are. Allegro Jasmine. I'm a big Jasmine fan. I like loose leaf better than tea bags, but today I have a tea bag. But it's absolutely amazing. If you have a certain tea that you love, especially a jasmine, I love jasmine pearl. So sometimes I'll go to the Duchambe Tea House here in Boulder and have my jasmine pearl fix. It's a little bit pricier than normal jasmine, but anyway, what are you drinking? Okay, so to get started with the summer, we want to be sure to take care of our skin. So what I thought I would do today is pop on a little bit of moisturizer. I just washed my face and I have no moisturizer on, and my skin's like, help me. So I'm going to use a little Image Vital C. So Image is fantastic. I love this brand. And the Vital C is loaded with vitamin C. It also has a Vital C serum, which is their #1 selling product, and I love that product. I've done whole videos on Image skincare, and I'll put it up in the corner here. But I do really love this brand when it comes to skincare. So anyway, I'm going to pop on a little bit of moisturizer, a little Vital C moisturizer. I've already washed my face with the Vital C cleanser, which I also really love. A little goes a long way. Anytime you're dealing with great products, a little goes a long way. So I'm just going to pop this on. And don't forget your neck. Okay, now we need a little sunblock because you always want to protect your face. For the rest of your body, it's really up to you. I like to get sun on the rest of my body because of the vitamin D. It's so important. We're so depleted in vitamin D. We've been locked inside with COVID and cold weather and that sort of thing. So really get outside, really get some vitamin D. And then I'm going to use a little Image again to have the image kind of highlighted here today. This is the 30 SPF prevention. I love this. I use this every day. I'm almost out of it. It's a wonderful face sunblock. Okay, so I'm going to use a little primer just to keep my makeup on because say I put this on in the morning, I want it to last all day. Primer does really help with that. Little Jane Iredale Smooth Affair Primer. I do really like this primer. I do think it works amazing. I use it almost every single day just to keep my makeup on. Everything soaks in on me. I have the worst time keeping makeup on my face. I'll put it on in the morning. By midday, it is no longer there. And I use phenomenal products. So it really, really what it is my skin is like, it's just a sponge. I'm a very spongy person. I'll absorb. If you're here, I'll, I'm very intuitive. I'll pick up on you. I'm very connective. I'm very huggy. I'm one of these, right? I'm Pisces. I'm very emotional and very into, everything that's going on. I'm like a sponge with. So I always have to be really careful. If I get around really negative people, that I'm careful to sort of withdraw myself or be really careful because it does really affect me. I don't know. Are you like that? Like it's a really weird, it's not weird. It's just adds a little complexity to my life for sure. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of foundation. Now, I'm going to use a very sheer foundation. I'm going to use it's got an SPF. This is Chantecaille. It's a tinted moisturizer. So I really love, Chantecaille is a lovely line. I use their products quite a bit in videos. I'm a big fan. So this one has a SPF 15. Now I use a sunblock anyway because SPFs do tend to get a little minimized in foundation. So I'm going to use this as my foundation because it's very, very sheer. And I love sheer foundations on older women. I do not like heavy ones. And if you want to cover your skin, that's not a good, I got way too much on my hand. Oh my God, did you see? I totally went overboard. Anyway, if you are trying to cover your skin, it's just going to look cakey. It's really, really important not to do that, to take good care of your skin and then use a really sheer foundation like this one. Okay, I have way too much. Holy cow, Suzanne. Okay, so I've just put my Chantecaille foundation on, and as you can see, a little goes a long way. I put way too much in my hand. It's totally wasteful. And then I'm also adding a little bit more around my eye area. And this just helps you not to use as much concealer. I think the older you get, the less you need as far as makeup and concealer. It's really important just to go lighter on everything, texture-wise. So if I can use my foundation as a concealer and get away with not using any concealer, I will definitely do that on women. So just take that as a note there. I use it on my lids because my lids are not oily and I can do that. Up to you on that one. You can still see some of my discoloration. Also, I think this is a little light. You can see I've been out in the sun. I've definitely, been riding my bike, and my body's got a fair bit of color in it. And even though I bought this foundation at the beginning of the season, I do think this is a little light color-wise, although I really love the texture. I just think that looks really beautiful. It's just a nice coverage, and it's just got a lovely sheen to it. I mean, it's great stuff. All right, I'm going to get to making this more equal here in a minute, but before we do that, I am going to touch a tiny bit of concealer on my skin. I'm going to use, this is Kojendo. So this is a concealer, creamy concealer. It's just beautiful. It comes in a little stick like this. This is my own personal, and I'm just going to put a little bit there. Not a lot, okay, because you don't, I'm trying to really stay away. Like, look how far that goes. Oh my God, this is a quantity issue I'm having today. I don't need to use as much as I use. And you can see how little of that I put on. So I'm just going to lightly tap that in, and I'm going to use it over my lid too. And I'm just going to put a little on this part of my nose, because my nose has got a lot of sun recently. So it's pretty red. So just making it nice and even. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little bit of powder just to set this so it's not too glowy. I'm going to use some Kojendo powder as well. This is lovely. It's got a nice little pinky tone. They have other colors, okay, so don't think this is the only shade. If you have darker skin, and rose just isn't going to work on you. But I'm going to use a little bit of this around my eyes in only specific areas. I'm going to use just a kind of a poofy brush here. Okay, so a little bit of powder on top, and it just lightened it up just a little bit. So I think that's really pretty. I like that look, so I think it's nice. Now I do notice that I've got, this is a little bit much for me. So I'm going to put a little bit of Yves Saint Laurent, a little Touche Cloud on top. This is a lovely highlighter. Very sheer. I really like this highlighter a lot. And I'm just going to tap it just a bit right here. So I had this is sort of allergy season, and my eye swelled up really badly last week. So I couldn't make any videos. So this week, they're still a little bit puffy. You can kind of see it, but not quite so bad. Do you get allergies? Do they puff up on you too? It's kind of awful. Okay, so on to some contour. So I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown Medium Contour. Looks like this. This is actually more of a bronzer, has more of a bronzy look, but I do like to use it, especially since this is more of a summertime look. So it's going to give it, just look at that warmth. Really nice. And I use it a little under my chin, just to kind of plump it up a little bit around there, right? Because our jawlines start to do funky things when we get older. I'm just going to tuck that under my jaw. I'm under my cheekbone here. A little bit. I have a good sized forehead, lots of brains. Okay, I'm going to do a tiny bit of blush. This is some Barely Rose for Jane Iredale. This is kind of a Jane Iredale thing today. We're doing a lot of Jane Iredale and Image Skincare. So I'm going to use my blush brush, and I'm just going to tap that just a little bit. Oh, my skin's already getting shiny through my powder. I think that's because my skin of the Image moisturizer definitely hydrates. That's pretty. Just right on my cheekbones. Really, really soft. All right, I'm going to fill in my brows just a little bit. Again, Jane Iredale, little brow pencil here. This is Brunette. I'm just going to use the little spoolie. And I just want to highlight this edge right here. Just give it a nice little fill in, to pull the eyes out. Okay, I don't like to fill this in too much. This is kind of sparse in here, but I like to leave it. I really prefer to fill in the outer edge. Depends on your brows, depends on a lot of factors. But I always feel like Groucho Marx when I fill this inner thing in. Not good. Okay, so on to eyes. So I'm going to use this palette. This is called Smoke It's in Your Eyes, or My Eyes, Your Eyes. Gets in Your Eyes. This is a Jane Iredale palette. I think this is just beautiful for springtime and summer. Like, look at those purples with lovely black with a little bit of silver flakes or gold flakes, I'm not sure, and a nice gold highlight. So just beautiful. So we're going to use this today. I'm going to start with the pink, just the soft pale pink, just to do a nice base all over my eye. So all over, very, very softly, just to start off. Pretty, right? Okay, so now I'm going to use the same brush. This is the MAC 127. I put this down below. I used it for my all over color. Now I'm going to use it for the deeper purple color. And we're going to use this in the crease, outer edge, and a little bit on my eye line. So again, we're going for a little bit of a smoky look. Not too much, because this is, again, it's daytime. You can wear this for weddings. I mean, this is a great, just easy summer purpley look. Really nice and soft. Just going to blend that in. Just, I don't want lines. Again, you want to really work with products to blend, right? Because we just, you know, you just don't want a lot of heaviness, a lot of lines, everything to be really nicely kind of blended together so that you don't get that really heavy lined look. I'm going to use a blender brush here. I don't want to take it too high up into my brow bone, so this just helps to blend it in. It has no color on it, so it doesn't add anything. That's nice. Really nice. I'm going to deepen it up a little on this outer edge. Okay, so now I'm going to take that exact same color, that deep purple color, and I'm going to use it a little underneath. So lots of purple. It's definitely a purple story. If you can pull off using this much purple around your eyes, it's great. Those of you who have a lot of redness around your eyes already, like maybe, I mean, some of us just have a lot more red around our eyes. You would have to really clear that out ahead of time using concealer and foundation so that you don't have any redness, because you're putting purple on redness, it's going to become even more red, lean towards the red, which isn't flattering. So you want to be sure you have a pretty matte palette to work with on your skin, because if you do, like, look, that's really pretty, really brings out the lovely purple. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of eyeliner with the black. Okay, so I'm going to use this. It's just kind of a poofy brush, and I'm going to put on that black. Okay, we're doing black today, but I'm going to do it as a really soft line, really dense, right next to my lashes. You can also use a thin slanted brush. I'm choosing to use this because I want it to be a little bit softer of a look. I don't want it to be a sharp look. I want it to be really soft. I'm just gonna kind of blend that in a little bit. So it's right next to the lashes. Yeah. See, just a little color, not a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to use off the palette, I'm going to take this gold color, and using my finger, I'm just going to tap it in the center. Oh, pretty, 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 pretty. Isn't that nice? Just softly tap that in. And again, I'm going to use my blending brush and just blend it all together because I want that soft, smoky, kind of blended together look, okay? And then if you want, you can use their highlighter. They have a highlighter right here, and that's a lovely pink color, and I'm going to take that and just tap it in here, just using the entire palette. Lovely. Ah, so pretty. Okay, so mascara. we're going to put my Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. I always, man, I've sold so much of this stuff. $5, ladies. $5. Fantastic. I mean, you know, it's a great product. People try to talk me out of this all the time. Like, don't you want to spend $30 on a Chanel mascara? No. Okay, so now I'm going to do lips, and I'm just going to do a really not very colorful, just a sheer kind of rosy lip. And the reason is I've got so much going on in my eyeballs, right? So I'm just going to fill in my lips. This is called Boldly Bare. And a little bit of lip gloss. This is called Boy Bait by MAC. I think I want this to be a little more pinky, so I'm going to just put a little bit of a pinky lipstick on top of this. I think I'm going to do this color right here. It's like a mauvey pink in this palette. This palette is called Danessa Myricks Beauty. So I love this palette. It's just super useful. I use it for a lot of my shoots. This is a tiny bit rosier. I just want a little bit pinker of a look here. This is pretty. Ooh. Okay, so this is my smoky eye purple summery look. And I think that the change in lipstick was really helpful. It just needed a little bit more pink in there. Still has some of the neutral tone on the outside, which I think works just fine. But I do like a little bit of pink in the lips and a little bit more pink than what I originally put on. Anyway, I hope you like this look. I hope you, are able to do it. Please write down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman, and happy summer.